Hi, good morning everyone. Today I am going to start the second chapter of your textbook, that is Kings, Farmers and Towns, Early States and Economies from 600 BC to 600 CE, that is Common Era. First of all, in this chapter, we'll begin with the changes which were brought in the subcontinent after the end of Harappa civilizations. There were several developments in different parts of the subcontinent during the long span of 1500 following the end of Harappa civilizations. During this period, Rig Veda was composed by the people. Agricultural settlement emerged in many parts of the subcontinent. We are having evidence of pastoral population in the Deccan. New modes of disposal of the dead, including the making of stone structure known as megaliths, emerged in South and Central India from 1000 BC. From 6th century BC, there was emergence of early states, empires and kingdoms. Agricultural production was organized and new towns appeared throughout the subcontinent. The first topic of this chapter is Princeps and Piyadasi. Most important development took place in the year 1830 when James Princeps, a British officer, managed to decipher the two scripts, Brahmi and Kharosti scripts. You may remember I had said while discussing about the Indus Valley civilizations that the scripts used by the people of Indus Valley civilization has not yet been deciphered. But James Princeps, he managed to decipher the two scripts, Brahmi and Kharosti script. He found that most of these mention a king referred to as Piyadasi, meaning pleasant to behold. There were other inscriptions which referred to the king as Ashoka. In fact, Piyadasi is also one of the title of Ashoka, meaning beloved of God. This gave a new direction to investigation into Indian history as European and Indian scholars used inscriptions and text to reconstruct the lineages of major dynasties that had ruled the subcontinent. Next topic, that is the earliest states. The 6th century BC is regarded as a turning point in Indian history, because a lot of changes were brought in this century. You must be knowing, as far as history is concerned, some year, some period, all of a sudden becomes very important, because when we find that there is a complete change, if you find that there is a fundamental change in the entire system, maybe political system, maybe social system, maybe economic system, then we can say that one period has come to an end and another period has begun. Similarly, there is some period which becomes very important because all of a sudden there are various changes. So 6th century BC is considered to be the turning point in Indian history. It is an era associated with early states, cities, growing use of iron, development of coins, etc. It also witnessed the growth of Buddhism and Jainism and 16 states known as Mahajanpadas. The two important religions, Jainism and Buddhism, developed in this century only. So that's why the 6th century BC becomes very important. While most of Mahajanpadas were ruled by kings, some Ganas or Sanghas were ruled by a number of men known as Rajas. Both Mahavira and Buddha belong to such Ganas. Each Mahajanpadas had a capital city which was often fortified. To maintain the capital city, army resources were required. From 6th century BC, Brahmanas began composing Sanskrit texts known as Dharma Sutras. These laid down norms for rulers who were expected to be Kshatriyas. You must be knowing that most of the rulers, in fact, Kshatriyas were expected to be the rulers. Long time back, I must have told you that as far as the caste system is concerned, it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. In Adhyay 4, in chapter 4, there is a mention of caste system. Chaturvaryanam maya srishtam gun karm vibhagsa tasya kartar bhavam vidya kartaram abhyam na mam karmani limpante na me karm phale ispriya iti mamyo vijanati karma bhina sabbadyate. It means on the basis of karma there is a division of 4 varnas. So in Indian society there was a division of 4 varnas on the basis of karma. So all the rulers, they were expected to be the Kshatriyas. Rulers were advised to collect taxes and tribute from cultivators, traders and artisans. Rates on neighboring estates were recognized as a legitimate right to acquire wealth. Now, the next topic, that is first among the 16, Magad. Between 6th century and 4th century BC, Magad, present-day Bihar, became the most powerful Mahajanpadas. Historians explain this development in a variety of ways. That what factors were responsible, how Magad became all powerful, all important. Because Magad was a region where agriculture was productive. Iron mines, present-day Jharkhand, were accessible and provided resources for tools and weapons. Elephants, a component of army, were found in forest. Ganga and its tributaries provided a means of cheap communications. However, Buddhist and Jain writers who wrote about Magadha attributed its power to the policies of individual Bimbisara, Ajasatru and Mahapadma Nanda. Initially, Rajgir was the capital of Magad, but in 4th century BC, the capital was shifted to Patliputra. Now the next topic which we are going to discuss about, an early empire. The growth of Magad culminated in the emergence of Mauryan Empire. Chandragupta Maurya, who founded the empire in 321 BC, extended control up to Afghanistan and Baluchistan, and his grandson Ashoka conquered Kalinga, modern-day Odisha. Historians have used a variety of sources to reconstruct the history of Mauryas. These include archaeological finds, especially sculpture. Another source of information is the account of Megasthenes. You must be knowing Megasthenes was a Greek ambassador to the court of Chandragupta. Another source is Arthashastra, composed by Kautilya or Chanakya. The inscriptions of Ashoka on rocks and pillars are often regarded as the most valuable sources. Ashoka was the first ruler who inscribed his message to his subject on a stone surface and polished pillars. He used the inscriptions to proclaim what he understood to be Dhamma. This included respect towards elders, generosity towards Brahmins, and treating slaves and servants kindly. Next topic, that is administering the empire. There were 5 major political centers in the empire: Patliputra, Takshila, Ujjaini, Toshali and Suvarnagiri. The regions included within the empire were just too diverse. The administrative control was strongest in areas around the capital. These centers were carefully chosen, both Takshila and Ujjaini being situated on important long-distance trade routes, while Suvarnagiri was important for tapping the gold mines of Karnataka. Megasthenes mentions a committee with 6 subcommittees for coordinating military activity. One looked after the navy, the second managed transport and provisions, third was responsible for foot soldiers, fourth for horses, fifth for chariots and sixth for elephants. The activities of second subcommittee were organizing bullock carts to carry equipments and procuring food for soldiers. Ashoka tried to hold his empire together by propagating Dhamma. Special officers known as Dhamma Mahamatta were appointed to spread his message. Next topic, that is how important was the empire. When historians began reconstructing early Indian history, in 19th century, the emergence of Mauryan Empire was regarded as a major landmark. Many historians found the message on Ashokan inscriptions very different from that of most other rulers. So it is not surprising that nationalist leaders regarded him as an inspiring figure. The Mauryan Empire lasted for 150 years, and by the 2nd century BC, new kingdoms emerged in several parts of the subcontinent. Next topic, that is new notions of kingship. The new kingdoms that emerged in the Deccan and further south included Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas proved to be stable and prosperous. We know about these states from a variety of sources. Early Tamil Sangam texts contain poems describing chief and the way in which they acquired and distributed resources. Many chiefs and kings, including Satavahanas, who ruled over parts of western and central India from 2nd century BC to 2nd century AD, derived resources from long distance trade. Next topic is the divine kings. One means of claiming high status was to identify with a variety of deities. This strategy is best exemplified by the Kusans 1st century BC to 1st century AD, who ruled over a vast kingdom. Historians feel that many Kusans rulers considered themselves godlike and adopted the title of Devaputra or son of God. By the 4th century, there is evidence of large estates, including the Gupta Empire. Many of these depended on Samantas, men who maintained themselves through local resources. They offered homage and provided military support to rulers and could become kings. Histories of the Gupta rulers have been reconstructed from literature, coins, and inscriptions, including prasastis composed in praise of kings. The Prayag Prasasti or Allahabad Pillar inscription, composed in Sanskrit by Harisena, the court poet of Chandragupta, is considered the most important and powerful of the Gupta rulers. I think more than 50% of the chapter I have completed. Now a few topics are left, which I will take up in another video. Or if you are having any doubts or any queries, you can write in comment box. Thank you very much.